There's a party going across at my neighbor's, so I don't know if you can hear the background. Maybe the mic's good enough. Who knows? We'll see. Anyways, Trump just exacted political revenge on a senator who voted to convict him. Republicans are trying to gerrymander away the last black congressional district in Tennessee, and the U.S.-China summit ended with both countries releasing completely different versions of what was agreed upon. That and more on today's episode of Blasphemy News. Let's get right into it. Let's start with the purge. Bill Cassidy, Republican senator from Louisiana, voted to convict Trump after January 6th. That was 5 years ago, and Trump still hasn't forgotten. Cassidy just got knocked out of his own party primary, and Trump celebrated on Truth Social, saying his career is over. This is part of a pattern. 5 Indiana state senators go on May 5th. Republican Thomas Massie of Kentucky on the chopping block next week. And the message to every Republican in office is pretty simple. Loyalty is the job now. Everything else is secondary. Tennessee's Republican governor called a special sessions at Trump's direct urging, and they redrew a congressional map to split the city of Memphis in 3 ways. Each piece absorbed into a surrounding rural red district. And the result was Republican Steve Cohen, who has represented Memphis for nearly 2 decades, is retiring. He's being called the first casualty of the Supreme Court gutting the Voting Rights Act last year. The ACLU, NAACP, and Tennessee Democrats are in court. The hearing is May 20th, so we'll see what comes of that. The Senate blocked an Iran war powers resolution for the 7th time, 50-49. The House tied 212 to 212 on a companion vote, which under the rules counts as a loss, but feels like we're almost there.
Everything is fine.
The White House says the war powers clock doesn't apply because there's a ceasefire. Democrats and a growing number of Republicans say the naval blockade at the Strait of Hormuz, which is still happening, counts as continued hostilities. The Senate parliamentarians just threw a wrench into the GOP's big reconciliation bill, ruling that the core ICE funding sections and a $1 billion ballroom provisions for Trump were out of bounds under budget rules. Republicans say they'll rewrite and push forward anyway, targeting a final bill by June 1st, so we'll see what survives the rewrite. And lastly, the final notes on the Beijing summit. Trump flew to China with Elon Musk, Tim Cook, Jensen Huang, and several other business stakeholders and got a state banquet, announced trade boards, an energy deal, a Boeing deal, and said China agreed not to arm Iran. Then China released its own readout, and no mention of Boeing, stark warnings about Taiwan, and overall a very different vibe. Both sides agreed Xi will visit the U.S. in September. Average tariffs on Chinese goods are still at 47.5%, in stark contrast in what both countries think came out of that meeting. This is what a deal looks like when neither side fully trusts the other. And that's it for today's episode, and as always, thank you for watching.